Whoa. He does sound like Autumn! Oh my god! Sorry.
I was not prepared for that.
Hi, this is Grace.
Hi, this is Allentail, but you can call me Matthew.
This is Hannah.
Hi, this is Emily.
Hi, I'm Abby.
Hi, this is Jamie.
And
this is
Adventures in Absurdity.
Hi!
Welcome back, everybody, to Adventures in Absurdity. This is a very special podcast episode because we are recording at almost 10 p.m. for most of us. And this week, we've got Emily and Grace, and we've also got some new people that you've maybe heard us mention before, which is so exciting. So everybody clap because we're welcoming Naomi and Emma.
Boo!
And we're gonna let them introduce themselves.
Okay, I'm Naomi. I have been listening to Odyssey for 8-ish years. My favorite characters are Whit, Connie, Eugene, Richard, Edwin, Shakespeare, Lucy, Monica Stone, Jason, Tasha, and Arthur Dent. My favorite album is album 25, and my favorite era is the 90s to 2000s era, so the Blackguard Saga and the Novacom Saga.
Wow, you did very well.
If you wanna shout out your Tumblr, we did that too.
Grape flavored Riku.
You tried so hard. And my name is Emma. I've probably also listened to Odyssey for around 8 years now. I'm trying to think, but that sounds accurate. My favorite character is Eugene, and my favorite episode would have to be Poor Loser. And then my favorite saga is the Nova. I don't know if I really have a favorite album, but like the Novacom saga kind of counts as that for me.
Well,
I clap, hooray!
Do you want to shout out your Tumblr, Emma? Or no, you keep that a secret?
No.
Okay.
I'm sure people will be able to figure it out, but you know.
Okay, and this week we're talking about Suspicious Minds, which is a classic, iconic.
Even though I haven't actually listened to it, but you know, they wanted me to join, and I was lonely. Okay.
You are welcome.
You are our friend. We will accept you.
Yes.
Suspicious Minds was written by Paul McCusker. We love him, and originally aired on May 5th, 1990. And it was directed by Phil Lawler, produced by Dave Arnold, executive producer Chuck Bolte, post-production by Dave Arnold, engineered by Dave Arnold, and music by Marty Echito. And I'm Emily.
Yeah, you're really channeling your Chris there.
I was not expecting music to be by Marty Echito, because it's usually John Campbell, but whatever.
John was on vacation.
Yeah, I guess so. And the summary is: money mysteriously disappears from the cash register at Wits End, and Connie and Eugene are determined to find the perpetrator.
This is the one where they have camouflage, right? Like they put on like camo paint, grease paint. Yeah. It's slowly coming back to me.
I'm pretty sure I listened to this episode before I knew what Adventures in Odyssey was. Like, in terms, I knew about the videos, but like the audio series, I think I heard this before I knew what the audio series was.
Interesting.
I could be wrong on that, though.
This is one of those episodes I listen to. Like, I can listen to it on repeat for hours on and, like, not get bored of it. Or, like, if I'm sad, I listen to Suspicious Minds.
Oh,
When you're sad, you listen to Bernard wait for Connie and Eugene to get shocked.
What? Yes. Oh, yeah.
This episode.
What?
I'm literally gonna be like, what?
Oh, you're gonna be like that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. course that happened. Like, it's coming back, I swear. I'm trying.
So I know Grape has notes /
I
Naomi.
do.
I don't have notes this week. Grace, do you have notes this week?
I don't have notes, but I have listened to Suspicious Minds maybe 15 times within the past couple days, so I got notes in my head.
I love that energy. I love that dedication. And I
Thank
showed up and
you.
I'm like, there was a test today?
I listened to it once on my way to work, and then again almost all the way on my way to work today. So like, kind of got it, kind of don't.
I want you to quote it word for word then.
Well, then
Let's go, Emily. We can
Prove
do
it.
this.
Prove it.
Well, I would flunk that test for sure. I'm pretty sure they say the at one point or another.
You win.
So, Grace and Naomi, you guys just like lead the ship today, and Emma and I will follow along.
I
Alrighty.
will make commentary and jokes.
Okay.
I'd like to point out, first of all, one of the things in my notes, how dated this episode is. And most Odyssey episodes don't make it obvious that they're so dated, but this one does. Like, Connie says, nobody needs a computer, Eugene. Like, that's pretty dated. She wants to buy a used 1967 Ford.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would do that too personally. So that's
I
not,
mean-
you know.
For reference, my parents were born in 76, which is not 67, but 76.
Yeah.
And my parents are 44 years old. So, yeah. I mean, and the car's already, 20-some years old at that point? And so,
Okay,
yeah,
but you
'cause
have
the
to
80s
understand that my dream car is like a 68 Beetle. So it could still apply. I think it could. But you
this
know.
is
It
like a
could.
Ford. Like, this is an ugly car.
You're right. But to each
I'm
their
gonna
own.
look up-
To each their own.
I'm gonna look up a 19. It's a 67, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
67.
Ford.
June
Card.
probably told her
Card.
it's like your first car, so it has to be an old beater because you
Well,
know.
My
You're
parents were
irresponsible.
-3.
Well, we don't know what kind of Ford it is because the ones that are being pulled up are the Galaxies, and they're kind of sweet.
Well, what wasn't it a pickup truck?
I
It was
No.
a car.
I
drove
swear it
car.
was a truck because I remember it
No.
was a truck.
No, that's Bernard's pickup truck
but I
that
feel
Eugene
like
wrecks in album 44.
1967. Are you sure it's not this truck? I feel like it was a truck. But you guys have listened to it, so
I mean, she didn't
She
mention
just
what
says
kind
Ford.
of car.
She does just say Ford, so it could have been a truck.
I
yeah.
could see somebody
I
wanting
mean,
a truck.
there's this really cute truck, and I feel like she could drive it. It's like this nice kind of
Yeah.
teal baby bluish looking truck. I would drive it.
Yeah.
If, you know,
Well, I
I had a
always
license, but I
remember-
don't yet. So
I always remember Connie referencing she drives a car. She never
Yeah.
mentioned driving a
This
truck.
is true.
I like this episode. It's like prime, iconic Eugene and Connie banter.
yes.
Like, it's classic.
It's what the classic era is known for sure.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Connie and Eugene talk about how they're saving up for cars and laptops. I love when Connie's like, you can't ride or drive a computer. That part makes me laugh all the time.
Miss Kendall, a computer can help you out in some sort of situation. Yeah. Or no, what just something like I ride a bike. It's eco-friendly and it's good for you. Oh yeah, and then you show up to work all sweaty.
Give me an AC car any day of the week.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about how that just didn't age well. Like, to borrow the colloquialism, Miss Kendall ate her words.
I mean, we basically do drive computers now.
We basically do, yeah.
Connie and Eugene, they're bickering
They're
because
bickering, and next thing you know, Wit's like, we're missing $60.
Oh,
And
no.
of course, it gets blown all out of proportion.
What I think is funny is that Wit is like, oh, you gotta think the best of people. And didn't that come back to bite him during Novacom when he was thinking
Oh,
the best
yeah.
of people?
Kind of.
To borrow the colloquialism again, Wit ate his words.
Mm-hmm. Emma, I'm like jealous that you can say that word because I can't.
You have to
I've
become a
tried a
Eugene
couple
stan,
times.
sweetheart.
I've tried
Yeah.
several times. Grace has been there for all of those attempts. I don't know. Y'all have probably seen the memes I've made to make fun of myself.
I've seen some of them, and I'm like, interesting. I really have no right to pronounce that word correctly or hear it correctly because I have audio processing disorder. I can't hear what my coworkers are saying to me half the time, but I know how to say colloquialism, so there's that.
Colloquialism. Hey, I
Eugene would
did
be
it,
proud.
guys.
Colloquialism. He would. He would be very proud.
Eugene would be so proud.
Yes.
Eugene and Katrina stan you.
I would love that, but I would be a little bit concerned if they did.
The Eugene phrase I always used was post haste.
Oh, I love post.
I always used that one. Post haste.
I like colloquialism like way too much. I don't actually use it that much. I just decided to use it tonight, so that's not something that I've really adopted into my vocabulary as much as I used to, maybe. Yeah.
So Wit tells Eugene and Connie, after the money gets stolen, business as usual. And it's just funny to me, does he really expect them to abide by his wishes, business as usual?
I don't think so.
No. He knows better.
He saw this all coming.
He's like, I'm just gonna let this play out.
This episode has similar vibes to Broken Window in terms of like letting it play out. And thinking the best in people and making assumptions. And I'm just always like, I kind of like questioned myself the first time I listened to this episode for the podcast again and was like, wait, did Wit take the money? Or did he find the money and not tell them? But nah, we know
Wouldn't that
didn't
be
happen.
kind of like malted milk ball Falcon? Wait.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, it would be. The case of the malted milk ball fountain. Falcon. It's Falcon. It's not Falcon.
Wait,
Falcon.
Is it really milk ball? Is that the right word?
It's malted milk ball fountain. It's basically them not being able to say Whoppers.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Isn't that because he did that then? He like took that in that episode, the thing.
He did because none of them stayed
up, but yeah.
Yeah, that's got similar vibes.
I think about that a lot and how I would have stayed up because I never sleep.
It's not that hard to stay up. Have these kids never stayed up all night? I'm just like, you're middle. Well, I guess they are middle schoolers. I don't know if I'd stayed up all night in middle school.
At middle school. I was staying up all night.
I don't know if I made it through the night until high school. I remember trying to on New Year's and just never worked for me.
Yeah. I never sleep. I always stay up. But yeah. Anyway, circle back to Suspicious Minds. My bad.
My thing is how did they not notice the drawer closing for like 2 whole days?
Yeah.
Or 3 days. It was 3 days.
Stuff back there, then I feel like it'd be kind of hard to. It wouldn't like spring all the way back open.
I mean,
right?
maybe it didn't latch until the end of the second day, because maybe the first day it latched. Like there wasn't too much, so it still latched. But maybe by the time it had taken the money for the second day.
We're just here questioning the accuracy of the change door.
We're gonna
we do that a lot.
We're gonna write to Paul and be like, "Well, have you ever put $100 in a cash register to see?"
He'd probably be like, "Yes, I did," because Paul, I'm sure, would be that.
For the sake of this episode,
Paul's just there, like, do they not have anything better to do? Seriously.
I mean, I guess regardless of how it got back there, if you have enough money to the point where it like slips back, I'm just going to assume that Wits End had a lot of moolah in that cash register.
Like, it had less than like $200 when he was reading off the totals. But like, I guess the 20s, but they were obviously like $20 bills, right? I guess they could have been 10s or 5s, but like, I just assumed they were $20 bills.
It was $186.69 was the total for one day. And that's funny to me too. It's like, how much are they charging? Or like, does nobody come into the shop? Because I feel like you'd make a lot more than $186.
Okay, but like inflation. Inflation. This was 1990.
That's true.
And I feel like Wit keeps his prices pretty low for the kids.
And especially if it was 1990, it would be a lot lower. Yeah.
And he doesn't make anything off the shop. They talk about that in an episode too.
That's true.
Yeah. I really think it's just inflation in the fact that he's not going to charge people $5 for an ice cream cone just because that's not Wit.
Yeah. Well, also, is the money he's taking from the register, is that what they're supposed to have in the register, or is that the profits from the day?
The 186. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I think it's what they're supposed to have total in the cash register. I bet, like, he's only, like, typically you keep $150 in a cash register for change.
I will keep that in mind.
Are you saying he only made $30 off of the ice cream that day?
Yeah, I think so.
I love that. It's a small town, you know? We had like 5 kids coming today.
Probably like 25 cents for an ice cream cone. So
I mean, that's. I feel like he could get away with that in like 1990.
Yeah,
like that's still pretty cheap, but it's like it's Wit and it's kids. If you get like a little scoop of vanilla, I feel like you could still make that work 30 years ago.
Yeah.
No, it's a good question.
I heard everyone audibly ponder, but there was no noise at all.
So the next thing I have in my notes is that Eugene says, I think Mr. Whitaker is a little sheltered from the wiles of the real world. I was like, Eugene, if you knew what the writers are going to do to you over the next 10 years.
I cackle every time I hear Eugene say that. I just think it's so funny.
He just thinks that Wit's like, bless your heart, Mr. Whitaker.
Yes.
Bless your heart, Mr. Whitaker. You made our government defense and you set up our
my gosh,
national infrastructure.
You're just a really sheltered old dude. I mean, you know, just
that believing in Jesus.
I've never actually thought of that before because I don't really remember that line. I only remember very specific lines, guys. Like, try the lemonade.
Yeah.
So,
that's iconic.
Try the lemonade.
Try
Would you mind licking this spoon, see if it tastes funny?
Oh my god, that was so funny. The spoon thing. I was like,
or Eugene, and get rid of that toothpick. Oh, okay. I'll take it. Eugene, why are you putting the toothpick in a plastic bag? Reasons.
I love it. It's so ridiculous.
But yeah, so Eugene and Connie, they're like talking about, you know, I wonder what happened with the money and all, and that's like light bulb turns on and they start to get suspicious right away and be like, well, you know, this could have happened, or, you know, this could have happened.
And their minds get suspicious.
They get suspicious minds. That was a bad joke.
And then what isn't the next scene the next day when Connie's like, it's like opening and Connie's like back hiding behind the plastic trees, and I'm like, why are there plastic trees in Wits End?
Oh, that was seriously a 90s thing. That was home decor in the
True.
90s.
I guess my church had plastic plants. growing
I
up.
I remember watching it was a taped something from like our school's chapel service, and it was like from the 90s. There were so many plastic plants.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Yeah, they kept them up on like the stage now that I'm thinking about it. It was just like a jungle up there. In the jungle, the magic
Yep.
jungle, flying fruits tonight. Okay, I'm not gonna subject y'all to that anymore.
Yeah. So Eugene's like, Connie, hide behind the plastic plants or whatever, and we'll spy. Eugene, I can't do that. We'll just pretend you're watering them. You're plastic, watering them to clean them. Like, that's total, like, big, as I was saying earlier, that's like total big brother setting up the little sister to get in trouble. Just see her like, crash and burn. Like, what do you want me to do? Put grease paint on my face? Well, I mean, now that you mention it.
And she acts like she won't do it. And then next thing we know,
she does it.
She does
grease
it.
paint.
And
I
then
love them.
enter Bernard. And I love Bernard. And Bernard and Eugene are just a wonderful combination. They're a match made in heaven.
I love them.
Or
and I'd like to say that I like Bernard, but again, he's like Wooten in the sense that if I knew him, I would want to slap him most of the time.
But I mean, isn't that true for any old white man? I think I would want to slap Wit sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially after the Rydell revelations, but we're not going to get into that today.
Ooh, don't start it.
That's for another day.
You're not holding back here, are you?
We're very passive aggressive here, and sometimes just straight up aggressive. It's great. It's wonderful.
Most times it's just straight up aggressive, but that's besides the point.
This podcast is just like, Odyssey writers, it's time for your roasting, and they're just like, yes, honey.
Except, yeah, so we love Paul McCusker, and Phil Lawler is in timeout.
He's in timeout.
So Eugene handcuffs Bernard, which I think describes just how Bernard feels about Eugene from this point on, pretty much.
Yeah. I like that scene because he's like, well, how do you feel about a squeegee? What did he say? Up your nose?
Up your nose.
Yeah. No, that was something else. That's a line from a different episode. Isn't it?
No, that's what he said. Yeah, he did.
Okay. And then Connie comes out and he goes, women usually do their mud masks at night.
Yeah, they're getting stranger and stranger every day.
I love his mumblings to himself. That's a nice touch. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, it's basically Connie came out of her hiding. Eugene has Bernard handcuffed, which gives me name, not a number vibes. And he's just lashing out on Eugene. Because Eugene's like, Mr. Walton, even if we do know each other, we can still be suspicious. Everybody does bad things sometimes. And he's like, I'm Bernard Walton. You know me. I know you. You all know me. And I know that uncuff me.
I was just going to say my favorite delivery in the episode is Bernard when he says to Eugene, look, detective.
I was just gonna say how you can
stellar performance from all of you.
Yeah. You can see Eugene's his unchristian side, really, or him not being Christian in terms of he's the one who kind of plants the seeds in Connie's mind at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah.
Of being suspicious.
But Christians can do that too.
Well, I mean, Christians
all the time. But yes, you're right.
A lot.
Yes.
But in
you're
terms
right,
of Odyssey
as in it's not,
standards, and in terms of we don't really see Eugene think that way in that kind of situation later on down the road.
Yeah, of course.
He was gonna go and open up the cash register or something. And because we hear about Eugene's booby trap that he set up, how like if somebody unlocks the cash register that it's not him, it'll shock you. And Bernard's like, that's ridiculous. Well, it wasn't ridiculous for my parents. They lost 20 pounds. Now, Eugene, they lost 20 pounds each.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's funny. I also like when Bernard is coming down into the workshop and Eugene is building the contraption and he knows he's not supposed to. And Bernard's just like, wait. And Eugene's like, where? He's like, I thought you were Mr. Whitaker. Calling his own name?
Like I said, he's smart, but he's also pretty dumb.
Well, and then we get flashed to Bernard the next day after they find out the other $40 is missing, to Connie putting in the $100 in the cash register because she thinks Eugene took it, and she she tells him of her plans, and then Bernard starts pulling some strings, and he's just gonna sit back and watch the show. And you're like, Bernard.
All I can think of is Connie is so wrong for thinking you would ever do that. Even like Christian, he would never.
Yeah. I agree with that one.
Yeah. Like he's shown himself to be like, he values stickler for the most part, unless someone's like suffering for it, kind of like, thing with the kid. He had to break the rules because he felt like he needed to save the kid. The first episode with Richard, if you can't, my mind is kind of blanking.
No, not Nathaniel. Something like that.
Yeah. And then obviously he broke the law or something a bunch of times in the Novacom saga for valid reasons.
Let's go to the scene where Connie is now getting ready to put the money into the cash register because she thinks Eugene did it. And Bernard comes in. He's like, Connie, did you take the money?
Oh no!
What's a girl your age doing with all that money?
Okay, I resent the idea that a teenage girl cannot have $100, or a teenager in general. Like, what is it about our society?
Inflation.
I've had
but
$100.
Still, what is it about our society that deems that high schoolers can't have a lot of money? Like, she's working a job.
Like, it's not that uncommon for a teenager to have money.
I was like totally trying not to say that there were moments when I was a teenager and I had, $100 on me plenty of times, but I didn't want to sound like super privileged or anything. But I'm glad to know that a lot of you have had $100 at certain points of your teenagerhood.
Yeah, but just the idea, like, and obviously $100 then is probably like $300 or $400 now, if not a little bit more. But still, like, the idea that somebody who's working can't have that money, it's just like, it kind of, like, I understand the thought behind it, but it rubbed me the wrong way because I'm like, you question why teenagers have all this money, and then question why they're in so much student debt 10 years later. Like,
I have to laugh. We hate to see it.
I want an alternate line for that. So let's talk about the best line in this episode, which is, your brain is missing in action, but your heart's in the right place.
Oh, you had the perfect cadence.
Yeah.
Who said that? You gotta remind me.
Oh, Mr. Whitaker.
No, it's Bernard. Bernard said that.
He did? I thought it was Whitaker.
Really?
No, it was Bernard.
Oh, that's right. He's talking to Connie when she's putting the cash in the cash register.
My brain's always missing in action. But my heart's not in the right place either. All of me is missing in action. Let's just put it at that.
Me. Oh, okay, I'm getting spacey.
Are you okay?
No. Sugar high.
I think it was really sweet of Connie to like go and
It
put
was.
her own money. That was
It
so sweet of
was,
her.
but like it wasn't coming from a good place because she was so convinced that Eugene
She's
was
trying to
guilty.
save her butt, yeah.
I guess. But I'm just like.
I mean, there's merit to wanting to fix the problem that you, like, end up, sacrificing stuff for it.
I mean, she worked hard for that. I mean, she worked hard for that money. She was so close to getting that 67 car pickup, whatever we decided on.
I think it's the truck.
Yeah.
I feel like she owned a truck at one point. I feel like later on,
They always say she has a hatch.
No,
But
Penny has the hatchback.
I think she had a truck for a while, and then she had a hatchback. There's just something in my bones that says she had a truck for a while.
To be honest, I really think you're crazy, but okay.
Why? Why do you think I'm crazy for that?
I don't recall her ever owning a truck. I think that's really funny that you think she owned a truck, because I don't think I've ever heard any mention of her owning a truck.
Yeah, I have no recollection of
I choose to believe it.
it.
Headcanon.
Yes.
Headcanon that Connie owned a pickup.
Yes.
I look forward to reading the theory in the morning.
I think that Bernard hiding behind I don't know where he was hiding in the episode. Hiding, watching, or waiting for, Connie and Eugene, somebody to get zapped by Eugene's trap. But I think I could imagine Bernard, he didn't leave after album 50. He's just hiding. He's lurking in the corner of Wits End with popcorn, just watching all the shenanigans.
He loves watching Eugene and Buck together, though. Like, he's so happy for them. But he also gives Buck ideas on how to drive Eugene crazy.
I'm crying now.
We talking about Bernard?
Okay.
Bernard, right?
Bernard. Yes,
yeah.
Bernard is Buck's honorary grandpa, not Will. Bernard.
Yes.
Changed my mind.
Y'all act like Bernard didn't just disappear off the face of the earth, and I love it.
I refuse to believe that he died or anything. I refuse to believe.
Bernard lives on.
Yes.
Who said that he moved down to Florida? I don't know. I remember someone
I
saying
have a
that.
headcanon that he retired to Florida, but
he did.
I like that theory. I think it's a good theory.
That's so, like, within his character, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he liked it for a little bit, hated it. He's not moving back because it's too much of a hassle.
No, the boomers love Florida. It's anyone younger than boomers. Sorry. Oh my god.
You good?
Should not be laughing that much. Okay. Anyone younger than boomers knows that Florida is just a cesspool.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Bernard is the ultimate Florida man.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh my god. Just think. So just, he moves away, and then, like, 8 years later, there's just, like, a Florida man headline, and it's Bernard, and people see it making rounds on the internet, and they're just like,
Florida man is washing everybody's windows.
No, he probably finally shoved his squeegee up someone's nose.
Yes, he probably did. Oh my god, that would be such a perfect Florida man headline. Like, I would believe that.
Yeah.
As a Florida man headline.
Shoves squeegee up neighbor's nose.
It's beautiful.
It really is.
Connie
It's
just sees this
perfection.
and she shows it to Eugene, and she's like, "Does that look like Bernard to you?"
Emma, you should draw the picture that would be in the newspaper headline, and we could like put it in a graphic.
His
with
mug
those
shot.
Oh my
headlines.
gosh. Yeah, I should, but also I have no
Great,
energy.
you draw too, or you do art. You could do it.
Make
We
Grace
just assume
do it.
Emma does.
I could
Make
do
Grape
but-
do it. Make
Grape,
Grape do
you
it. Sorry, I'm getting
it.
confused with Grace
had
and
that-
Grape.
It's
You
okay.
had that really good one of Blackguard and Jack in the tunnels.
Yeah, that
Yes.
was amazing.
Yes.
That was
Make Grape do all of
awesome.
it. Now, an artist who everyone makes do stuff. That didn't make
You-
any sense. I can't speak.
You know what I'm drawing right now?
What are you
What?
drawing?
I'm drawing Jason and Jack, and Jason's mad because he's in jail, and they're doing
Joshua Tree Jason!
that line. The line where he's like, "I told you so," and Jason's like, "I didn't have you didn't have to say it."
Joshua Tree Jason. That's all I can think of. That's
Yeah,
that's it.
he's
That's
gonna-
it, right? That's the one you're doing, right?
Yeah, he's gonna have that
Yes.
shirt,
Yes.
and he's cross-legged with his shoes next to him.
You
Yeah!
don't know how important that
Yes.
is to me. It's really important.
I did have Jack's arm like gesturing, and I moved it because we have to see the shirt better.
Mhm.
I love how you
Yes.
just like taken all these things from everybody and you just like put them in Jason.
It's
I
the
just feel
ultimate.
very
He's the
validated.
It
ultimate
sounded
meme.
bad.
He is.
I think everybody just wants to think they're Jason too. Like, because who doesn't want to be Jason? Because he's a...
This is what projection should be like. Am I right? We should be
Yes.
wanting to put Jason in Joshua Tree shirts and what else?
Yes. But anywho, Bernard is laughing because Eugene and Connie are arguing and have been over a roll of quarters. And Whit is just like, what is going on? He's very much not amused. He's not amused with Bernard even. It's like those two.
Those two are bickering again.
What else is new?
Those children, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. No, okay. Seriously, it's like, imagine, okay, like younger Eugene and Connie bickering, right? And then headcanon that one day Witz just had it, and he's like, okay, I had enough of it, hug it out. And they're like, what? Just hug it out. Say you're sorry, say I love you. Now share your favorite Bible verse. I don't care if Eugene isn't Christian. Okay, cool, let's move on.
He gives
Oh my gosh.
He gives them that "This is our get along" shirt.
Can one of you draw that?
No, sorry.
Great.
I will not be
please.
taking drawing requests ever again.
I'm just like,
I'm too tired.
Naomi.
What
Yeah.
is the this
Sorry,
is?
Naomi,
I don't
I
know
did
what you're
this to you.
talking about.
Draw Connie and Eugene in a get along shirt. I will pay you.
It
I
just
mean,
says-
I don't.
one whole American dollar.
Pay one whole
One
American
whole
dollar.
American dollar.
I'll pay
I'll
you in
probably make a
validation.
doodle version of it, though. I'll probably make a doodle version of it because
I'd like
Make
to
a
do
doodle
version of it.
I'm
Bless
gonna do
you.
that right now. I'm gonna do it. I gotta
Oh,
find
there
some
you go.
paper.
I
I'm
love
like,
you.
I'm not gonna spend however long I spend just on a
Yeah,
Connie and
no.
Eugene one.
But I will gladly make a doodle version of it as we speak.
Hey, Matthew's here.
Hi, Matthew.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hey Matthew.
Hey. Hey, wait, this
Making
is
a
the...
doodle.
What?
Grape and Emma are here today. They joined us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Our
welcome
first
to the
episode.
party. Although I'm the one that's coming late, but like, welcome to the party.
Welcome to the party.
Yeah.
Matthew comes in, he's like, "Oh yes, welcome to my party."
Yes, the one that I threw. I started here. I was here when it began. I've always been here.
Wow.
Yes.
I know, it's kind of whack, eh? Anyways.
He's
What-
like, do not cite the dark magic to me, which I was there when it was written.
That's my vibe. That is my vibe
Yes.
currently.
Yes.
A few moments later.
Okay, back to the episode. Bernard was watching Connie and Eugene bicker. That's where we're at right now.
Yes, and he's like
As per
losing
usual.
it, and Wit is over it, and he goes up and he's like, "Okay, you two, I told you not to get suspicious." And that's when
Don't
it
be
all
suspicious.
comes
Don't
out.
be
Don't
suspicious.
More moments later.
Wit yells at Connie and Eugene, and Connie goes to close the drawer, and it won't close. And I wonder why.
Curious.
There's a
Ka-chunk,
chunk
ka-chunk.
of cash.
And somehow $100 got caught in the grass register.
The grass register.
We only accept grash at this location.
It's like Google.
The cash register.
There we go.
There you go.
Wow.
You did it.
I can speak. I promise.
Okay. Y'all, if this is going on another rabbit trail, but if we do another 10 p.m. recording session, please each of you take a Red Bull or something.
I had Powerade and a McDonald's Sprite. I'm fine.
We gotta finish this episode. I gotta go
We
to bed.
do.
So then Wit just talks at Connie and Eugene, and it's like, don't be
end.
so suspicious.
You guys are
Don't be suspicious. Don't be
Don't be
suspicious.
suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Please line us up in post, Emily.
No.
Oh,
Just let us be chaotic messes like we are.
that's fair. You know.
Okay, and now I get to tell you all what episode we do next week.
Yeah.
Yay!
Lay it on there.
So, the number generator decided that we are going to do Connie part 1 or 2.
Yes!
Hey.
Is that where she, that's her first episode, right?
No,
No,
that's
that's
Connie
when she
comes to
becomes
town.
Christian, actually.
Connie is when she becomes a Christian.
Nice.
Well, that's a little counterintuitive, don't you think?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just feel like the first episode of her should be Connie, not Connie comes to town, but, I don't know.
It's true.
Makes sense.
I mean,
I always
Connie
got 'em
comes to town
confused.
makes sense, but if you have both of them, it makes sense.
It's confusing, in hindsight.
Yeah.
Having
Yeah.
Connie, and then it's like, oh, which one was the first episode? Connie. No.
I have to tell you, this thought that just rang through my mind like a gong. Connie 2, Electric Boogaloo.
There's no shout outs this week. Because
Shout
nobody
out
sent
to
us
me
an
for making a
email.
doodle.
So, yes, which we will share via Tumblr at some point.
Oh
I
my
think.
gosh.
With Emma's permission, of course.
You
Let's
have
be
my
honest.
permission.
Wait, what are we sharing?
Okay, everybody heard that, right? The
Connie
Doodle in
Eugene
chaos.
shirt.
Oh, this is our get along shirt.
Yeah.
Get
along shirt.
This is our get along shirt.
Yes.
Oh my.
Just staring daggers at daggers.
What?
Staring daggers at daggers.
Debating.
Daggers.
That
Why does my
accent,
Siri
though.
keep
Daggers
activating?
at daggers.
Oh,
What?
staring daggers at daggers.
And that was Suspicious Minds, everybody. I'm kicking Aaron out now.
Okay.
Okay,
Bye.
thanks for listening.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. We love you.
We hope you enjoyed
Goodbye.
this discombobulated smorgasbord of voices.
Email us.
Yes,
Y'all.
please.
Email us
Okay.
at adventuresinabsurditypodcast@gmail.com. Hit up our Tumblr page, Adventures in Absurdity blog on there. We have all our personal blogs on there. Hit us up. We love to hear from you guys.
We
Cool, that
crave
was my spiel.
validation.
You guys are very
We need the
good at
validation.
Please.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Yes.
So, disclaimer. We're also not affiliated with Focus on the Family, by the way. Please don't ever think that.
Today's episode was brought to you by Aram, the recording bot.
We're
We
chaos.
are chaos. Goodbye.